again for another episode of Roofer Reflections. I'm very, very excited to interview Jamie, and I'm looking forward to learning more about your story. Would it be the data entry side of the sort of home improvement kind of contracting side? Is that where you started?
I started working for RF installations. And keep in mind, I have no idea how to put together a kitchen cabinet, doors, blinds, any of that. But I learned on the fly. So that was probably my first initial stint in construction, just learning really anything.
I mean, how did they give you the chance? How did it happen? You're saying you know nothing. So did they just like your attitude? How did that happen?
Maybe I think my smile got me the job. And my brother was an installer for a steel company. You want a job, pass the time, you can at least learn what I do. So I was like doing warehouse stock, doing that. And so that was my first glimpse of like anything construction related, like make ready. So that was the only experience I had. So I think it was just because I was able to speak to people and I had a good attitude. They were like, you know what? Let's take a chance on this guy.
And was the transition, learning all this stuff, easy or was it tough?
It was pretty easy because they were a national company, but they're based in Dallas. And so I had to learn quickly. So, you clock in at 8 a.m., you're already getting phone calls from New York, Delaware. Hey, where's my door? I'd say till this day, I've never worked harder in my life than that first job. Like, wow. I don't even see how I did it then.
Now, how did that job lead to a roofing related job?
I actually interviewed for multiple companies, none roofing related. And I actually had a job lined up and was about to sign. And then I got an email from K-Post. Hey, would you be able to interview? And I'm like, man, I already accepted this job. I guess. I show up 30 minutes late to my interview. So I'm interviewing with Tracy Donalds and he's showing me his Lego collection and all that, telling me about the environment. I'm like, man, this is nice. I was like, this is very loose and laid back. And so I come home, I talk to my girlfriend. I'm like, well, I think I'm going to take this job instead. I was like, it seems like a way better environment. Because keep in mind, I have zero roofing experience. I've never even been on a roof at this point. But I have the experience dispatching, nationally. So they're like, hey, you're used to dispatching X amount of crews. You can do this. So it was a whirlwind.
Was it straightforward as you thought? I mean, they thought because you were, doing this stuff and logistically and coordinating that this was going to come. Did it come easy or was it a learning curve?
I would say it came pretty easy because you can kind of translate anything into roofing. It's not rocket science. I had the opportunity to learn from, they would call it their black ops crews, their very best. So I learned what to do at the very beginning.
What do they do differently that another crew that isn't as high performing? What's the difference? Attitudes or what are we looking at?
I would say attitude would be number one. They genuinely love what they do. They perfect their craft. They're easily to go to the tenant, property manager, even me, and letting us know what's going on, what we can do to fix it, what the issue is. There's been a lot of guys that are like, hey, can you have so-and-so on site? Last time he was here, he showed me what we did before. He showed me what we could do in the future. Yeah, it's easy to learn when, you have the best people surrounded.
If someone's considering coming to the roofing industry, what do you tell them?
I say do it. You're going to have a long career. I mean, construction's always getting done. Roofs are always getting put on. I say it's a great opportunity, especially financially. You can make a lot of money, especially in sales. And if you're good at it, you don't have to love it necessarily, but I like it. I genuinely like what I do. And so I left roofing for a few months just to get put on a roofing job. And I'm like, you know what? I want to keep doing this. Why not? Easy to learn. And then once you learn it, if you're like me, you don't get enough of it.